ahead and go ahead and share my screen here. And of course I'm not on the right one, let's go back. There we go. Sorry about that. All right, there we go. So here's our session. Yeah, so this is hydroponics in the classroom. Let's create the next generation of scientists, farmers, chefs, and entrepreneurs. Again, I'm Chris Anderson. And so I'm really happy to be here. I work for Green Our Planet, which works with teachers to inspire students to love and care for our planet through comprehensive STEM school, garden, and hydroponics programs. We use gardens as a portal for understanding both life on Earth and our place in the universe. I was a classroom teacher for 18 years, and as a teacher, probably very much like you, I hoped every day that I would make a positive impact on my students that day, right? Every day you go in with that new hope that that's what you're going to do. And I think that some days were obviously more successful than others in that, but every now and then I'd have that moment, you know, the one where the student says, "That's so cool," or "Thanks, Mrs. A, for showing me that," or "Now I get it." Those are really good days, and I'm sure that you've had many, many of them. But I'm probably pretty biased in this, but something that I noticed in those times is that those times happened most often when I was teaching science. That was just my favorite thing. And especially when I was in the garden. The garden. Have you ever been there? It's this magical place where all of life's dramas play out, exotic foods grow, and lots of learning can happen. A garden can be large or it can be small. It can be in a field or on a rooftop. And perhaps, surprisingly to you, a garden can be in your classroom, literally tomorrow, with hydroponics. At Green Our Planet, we've been providing hydroponic STEM programs to schools for 5 years. We started with just 10 schools in Nevada, and this year, we will send out over 250 programs to schools in over 30 states. So it's a big, big jump for us. We sell programs and find funding to help schools afford those programs. And over the years of building the programs, we've learned a lot about hydroponics and how anyone can build systems and explore this really cool technology. To me, it's just a super exciting, easy way, or kind of an easy tool to use that I like to share with anybody who will listen. So thanks so much for coming in and listening to this today. I hope that you find something that is inspiring to you. Before I go too much further, I do want to emphasize that I love outdoor gardens, and I fully support all outdoor garden projects. However, my particular expertise is in hydroponic gardening. So today, I hope to inspire you to bring a garden into your classroom using hydroponics and get a little of that garden magic going for your students as soon as next week. I am serious, next week, it's true. So what's the big deal about hydroponics? Well, I'm going to kick off this hydro party by showing a short video of students and teachers across the country who are using hydroponics in school right now. And stick around because after the video, I will have a very special announcement that you won't want to miss. So I'm going to start this video and I'm actually going to jump ahead just a little bit. So start it and we'll jump just a tad here. I will mention that our founders are filmmakers, so we have a lot of film, and this is one of our most recent. All right, so right in here is where I'd like to start. All right, here we go.
I don't think that we can hear it.
Oh no, really? Are we not hearing it? That's going to be my fault. Let me fix that. Sorry about that.
Thank you.
I'm glad you pointed it out. Let me try that again. All right, let's try that again. Yes, I didn't do that right. Okay, so now let's do it again. Here we go. All right. Now are we good?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, good. Let's go forward.
It looks fun. Man, have a family with it! Circulation! I love growing vegetables and flowers because they are the best ever. I'm excited to learn about how the plants grow, and it's really important for our planet.
The hydroponics units are so exciting for us because we are a future-focused school at Connect Academy, and we are blending technology with nature. So we are very excited and grateful for this hydroponics unit.
Are y'all ready to learn about hydroponics? I'm ready to learn too. Everybody say it. Hydroponics. And we put what in here? You can tell me some things that plants need in order to grow. What have we learned, Henry?
Water.
Water. What else?
Sunlight.
Sunlight. Can y'all follow me? We're going to take it to our table.
I'm thinking that maybe we could grow different types of vegetables, so then I could maybe bring some home for dinner one night.
All right, so I'm going to stop it there because it goes on for a bit yet, but I think you can see obviously the excitement that is happening in those classrooms. And so I would like to share with you actually our special announcement. We have, whoops, hold on. Oh my goodness, here we go. Let's try that again. You have to be so, there we go. So, special announcement. What you saw there was just a portion of the video that we made thanking one of our sponsors for their contribution to green our planet. And that contribution made it possible for us to scale our program and deliver over 200 programs to schools across the country this year. But now for that special announcement, especially for our Nevada Title I schools, we have an amazing opportunity. Green Our Planet has a limited number of free hydroponics programs that are worth $10,000 to give away. Yes, I'm feeling like Oprah right now. You get a hydro program and you get a hydro program. So if you're interested, please pop your email into the chat at any time during this session. And if you win, we'll be in touch with you after the holidays. It is truly that simple. If you are not a Title I school, but are still interested, please apply anyway. Go ahead and put your name in there. We may be able to help you as well. That is what we do. So we've developed these programs. We want as many of them into schools as humanly possible, and we find the funding to help you afford to do that. So I see some names probably popping in there right now. That's awesome. If you aren't quite sure quite yet, that's okay. You can wait for a little bit as well, but definitely put your name in there and we will let you know if you are a lucky winner. So perhaps maybe to help you make a decision about this, I will talk a little bit more about what is hydroponics anyway. You may know that hydroponics is growing plants without soil. Pretty much everybody gets that kind of idea. There are many different types of systems, but they're all based on one kind of similar model, which is dangling the roots of plants in a nutrient-rich solution and then putting a lamp overhead. We just watch them grow. It is literally that easy. There are a few different types that you may have heard of. So over here on this slide, we have some kind of diagrams. And on the left-hand side are wicking and crack key systems. These are simple little systems that are they're just kind of passive systems, so there's no pump or anything like that involved. They can go in windows and that kind of thing, and they're really simple to build. We actually have, I'm actually going to show you today how to do a crack key system, so, and give you some tips there. Then there are a couple of other kinds here. This is called an NFT, so nutrient film technique system, and aeroponics. And these are two kinds that are commonly used in commercial hydroponics. We actually, a lot of the food that we eat, a lot of the things that you get in the grocery store right now are grown hydroponically. So tomatoes and strawberries a lot of times are grown hydroponically, as are a lot of different lettuces, like the baby lettuce particularly, and spinach, things like that. So those kinds of things are already out in our grocery stores and we're eating them right now. So it's a really cool connection for students to understand the food that they are seeing produced is being produced by something that they are learning about. Super cool. Just kind of show you a little bit about how these systems work. On the NFT, there's a reservoir of water here. It's a nutrient solution and the water is pumped up to the top and then it runs through a channel that is just very thin. So it's a thin film. So that nutrient film is where that name comes from. And then the roots just take up that water and those nutrients and do their thing. So that's a really great system. We also have aeroponics, which is where water is sprayed onto the roots from underneath, usually, sometimes from the side. It depends on the configuration. So really cool systems as well. The systems that we use in our program are a deep water culture and the commercial system. That's kind of a hybrid between the deep water culture and the NFT. And you saw those in the video. So the small ones that they were all taking out of the boxes, those are the deep water culture systems. And the way that those work, they are just kind of one step above a crack key system. So they do have a pump added to them. And so the pump can be either external or internal. If it's external, it'll be attached to an air stone. And what happens is the air goes into the water, it makes bubbles, so it's aerating the water, and that gives the roots oxygen, which is super important for plant growth. So those systems that we use that you saw in the video, they actually have an internal pump. So the pump just actually sits inside of the reservoir and pumps periodically. It's on a timer. And it just does its thing. And it has LED lights added to it. And then the commercial system is, as I said, is kind of a hybrid. So it's sort of like an NFT in that the water is pumped up to the top and it runs through these grow beds kind of in a pattern and then drops down to the next side and does the same thing and then back to the reservoir. And it just keeps circulating. The difference is that instead of a thin film, it's more of a, more of a deep water culture. So it's a little bit deeper system. So these are both really great systems. We've done a lot of research and tried out lots of different kinds. Also, if you start kind of digging around in hydroponics, you'll learn about lots of different kinds of systems that are commercially available. But the ones that we have here, these are really great systems. So what is the attraction of hydroponics? Like, why would you want to teach with these, and why does this work in classrooms? Well, in short, hydroponics has several advantages over growing outdoors. And growing plants, regardless of how you do it, brings so many benefits to students, from their general well-being, just having plants in the room and learning about them, to increased STEM achievement, particularly in the areas of engineering, for example, to social learning, financial literacy. You can build businesses around this, and much, much more. Every year I learn of new ways that teachers are using this in their classrooms. By the way, too, I will mention, we originated this program as a K-5 program, but we have it in high schools, we have it in community centers. Students of all ages and all abilities use these systems and these programs really, really well. So some of its advantages, I guess, over an outdoor garden would be that it's used indoors, so you can grow plants year round. As you know, many schools, school is out during the summer when most of the garden is growing. Unless you're in Las Vegas. Las Vegas has kind of a different setup, but a lot of times the garden is fallow during the school year. Hydroponics are in your classroom, which gives you easy access to live growing plants. Anytime you want to do anything, with plants at all, it's right there for you. You don't have to go out and find it or anything. Plants grow faster, which allows you to reach objectives more quickly. This is particularly true if you want to show the life cycle of a plant. So from seed to flower, you can do that a lot quicker. Producing healthy food in your school can be a great way to engage your greater community. So it's also, when people find out that their kids are learning about eating lettuce and making salad dressing in their classrooms, and they could possibly buy some of that or whatever, people get really, really engaged with it and super excited about it. It's also a really cool technology. And then you can teach STEM, financial literacy, conservation, health and nutrition, and more on your schedule, not nature's schedule, which is definitely a plus. I did notice someone in the chat said that as a CTE culinary instructor, you need this. Yes, we have this in culinary programs, and it is spectacular. People love it. Okay, so how can you use hydroponics in your classroom? As I mentioned, there are programs from Green Our Planet. Maybe you'll win one. And we have, so that's our main $10,000 program. But for smaller schools or schools with a smaller budget, we have a $2,500 program that includes 8 small deep water culture systems like this one and the one that you saw in the ones in the video, and a $500 program that includes 2 of these small systems. So those are also options. If you're interested, you can email me at chris@greenourplanet.org, and I will give you more information about those. But that is something that you can do if you're interested. But what if you aren't sure about a whole program? What if your budget doesn't include thousands of dollars for STEM programs? What if you just can't wait and you want to do it right now? Well, you can actually DIY this as well. You do not have to buy systems. You can DIY it. I will be putting in the chat in a bit a link to a folder with some resources for you. It will help you find the materials that I'll talk about today. But let's start in our virtual academy. So at Green Our Planet, we created the virtual academy in 2020. It was in response to the COVID shutdowns. And so we started putting together video lessons and video tutorials that can be used by anybody, any teachers in their classrooms to get this going right now. So I'm going to take us on a short tour of our virtual academy, and I would invite you to come along with me. If you'd like to, go ahead in your browser, put in Green Our Planet, so all one word, .org. Go ahead and put that in your browser if you'd like, and come right along. So when you reach Green Our Planet, you will find up at the top our programs. So open that up and you'll find down here Virtual Academy. So that's where you want to head first. Obviously, you can check out all those other places as well, but today we're going to go to the Virtual Academy. So once you go there, scroll down and you'll see our sponsor, and it's an award-winning website. Also, do subscribe to the Virtual Academy newsletter. That will get a collection of videos selected periodically right in your inbox. And then you'll come down here to our the menu. And so this is the Virtual Academy is for all of our programs. So that includes our outdoor programs and our hydroponics program. So if you have an outdoor program, this is a great place for you to head into too. Our STEM garden lessons are for outdoor. We have garden tutorials. We also have a lot of nutrition lessons. Those are for tons of cooking ideas, cooking with students in all different ways. So what I'll point out right now will be these DIY projects, because what we're really thinking about here is, hey, let's build some stuff, right? So if you go into DIY projects and scroll down, you will find this great little library here of different kinds of hydroponic systems that you can build literally out of. I'm sure you've seen those yellow lidded totes at Lowe's and Home Depot. You can use those. There's PVC pipe. You can use something as simple as a plastic bottle to build a wicking system, cottage cheese containers. Then we go a little bit further for you and we show you how to use lights. So what kinds of lights do you need for hydroponics? If you're going to do something besides windows work great, but they're not always reliable. We even have a simple aquaponics system that you can build. So aquaponics is where you use fish. So you have fish in your fish tank, and they're fertilizing the water, and then they get to eat the plants. So it's a great kind of little symbiotic system. So this is a great place to check out how you can build DIY hydroponics projects. A couple of other things I'd like to point out. There are over here hydroponics tutorials, and what you'll find here is very similar to the DIY projects, but I want to kind of navigate through. So this first part, actually, this landing page is the information for our program. So if you have our program, you would go here to get all of the information about how to set up and maintain your hydroponic systems. So this is for the small systems, and then this one is for the big. If you go down, however, you will find other kinds of hydroponic systems you can build. And what we have here, so this is actually for our old program where we used to send out different kinds of systems. I used to build these in my garage. So these are all the different kinds of systems. So we do it by grade level. So there's kindergarten, and you can build a wicking system. But what's important here is that it shows you all the steps. So you have how to germinate seeds, how to transplant, how to harvest, how to mix nutrient solution, how to prevent algae, because algae is a thing in hydroponics. And then first grade is Kratky, which is another kind of system, that one I pointed out. And again, the same kind of steps for how you can kind of do that. So here, different kinds of systems, each grade level, you'll find those different instructions. Full instructions, completely easy, complete with tools, the whole 9 yards. You'll see exactly what you need to do. So great way to get started there. Now, one last thing I want to show you before we move forward is STEM hydroponics lessons. So we do have a curriculum. Our curriculum is K-5 right now. We do have a middle school and high school on the way as well. But we have put together here in the Virtual Academy video lessons for students for you to use with students. You can actually use them as like a training tool for yourself, but they are done by grade level. They are keyed to our curriculum, which is NGSS, so Nevada standards, and Common Core, and also the National Health Standards. So they are set to all of those commonly used ones. And when you go in, you'll find that each of the lessons contains opportunities for you to have students write in notebooks. They can make hypotheses. They can turn and talk. They have their quizzes at the end. They learn vocabulary. And then they're just super fun. We have puppets. We have people dressed up in silly costumes. They'll get to meet certain personalities like Farmer Joe and Farmer Tom and Farmer Yolanda. So really great resource. Anybody can use this anytime right now with any of your students. So definitely, if you have some time over the holiday or something like that, I would encourage you to hang out in the virtual academy for just a little while. All right, so I'm going to move on to the next here. So when we were in the virtual academy, I think maybe we might have seen this this thumbnail, but this is how to make a simple crack key hydroponic system, a video that we have. And I thought perhaps we should go ahead and learn how to do that in real life today. So I'm not going to show another video. I'm actually going to switch my camera. And I will show you how you can build a simple hydroponic system, a crack key system, hopefully using things that you have right now. Probably if you go digging around in your closet, in your classroom, you might find a lot of this stuff. And I'll show you some. I also will talk a little bit about different resources that you can use to get some things that maybe you don't have right off the bat. So I'm going to switch my camera here. All right. So here we are with my little setup here of various kinds of materials. So what we're going to build is a crack key system. And a crack key system, as I said, is just a passive hydroponic system. You can use it in a window. You can use it with grow lights. Students can make individual ones. You can make them bigger. I can tell you that as you start to kind of think about how to build hydroponic systems, that no plastic container is probably safe around you. You'll be like, oh, I think I can make a hydroponic system out of that. I actually sometimes buy things because I'm like, ooh, I can make a hydroponic system out of that. So that's kind of a silly thing, but it's true. I actually do that. So to start with a crack key system, a lot of times we start with something like this, like a cottage cheese container. That's a really easy one to use and easy to find. A lot of times we have those takeout containers, that kind of stuff. I've also used just plastic cups. You can just cut a hole in the top. So how many of you know Starbucks cups? Now McDonald's has plastic cups too. Everything comes in plastic, so you can use those as well. So what you're gonna need for a crack key system is a container like this. This is gonna be your reservoir. This is where the water's gonna go. And you'll need to cut a hole in the top so that you can accommodate some kind of pot, some kind of net. We call these net pots. When we're using real hydroponics, when you do it, you can purchase these. They're called net pots. You can find them online. And so those would just go in the top here. It would just sit in there like that. So these net pots will hold the plant and that puts it down in the water and you're good to go. But sometimes you don't have a net pot. So I figured out these little condiment containers that pop up all the time. You can use these. They work out great. All you have to do is cut some holes in them. So I actually used for this one, I used a soldering iron and just burned holes through it, melted those holes through. Or you can use a box knife and just cut some slits in there, and that will allow your water to go in, and it'll also allow your roots to grow through. So this is exactly what you need here. So, and I also I bought a little cactus one day, and it came in this tiny little pot, and that works great. So just kind of be creative and think about, oh, how can I do that? What can I use? So another thing that you'll need is some kind of a planting media, and in the folder that I'll share with you, there is a link. You can buy something like this. This is called rock wool. You can get 200 of these plugs for less than $20. And then you can plant 200 plants. So it's pretty amazing. So it's a great substance, a great growth media. You can also buy these little plugs that look like this. They're a little bit more expensive, but they also work really, really well. So there are lots of different options there. So I have a couple of seedlings here that I started. Oh, by the way, clear top takeout containers, great for sprouting plants. You sprout them in the rock wool, just in your little container, keeps them nice and moist and warm. It's perfect for that. So here I have some seedlings. These are actually radishes. So, and I use the radishes because they grow really quickly. Most of the time in hydroponics, we might use lettuce. Lettuce is super easy to grow, and it grows really quickly. But I decided I wanted to make sure that I had some nice big ones for this demo. So I went ahead and planted some radishes. You can grow radishes in hydroponics. It's just that the radish grows up on top of the plug, which is kind of interesting, actually. So to do that, I'm going to put it in, I'm going to use one of my little homemade cups here and see. Yeah, that'll work. So I'm going to use this guy right here. I'm going to put my plant in. Now, there's some space in there, and it's nice to have something to fill that up. So in hydroponics, we often use this stuff that's called Hydroton, and you may have seen this in garden stores. I see it at IKEA all the time. They have it, but you can use those. But if you don't have that, aquarium gravel from your yard, marbles, those glass gems that you have, you know, for different kinds of craft activities, anything you can think of that will just fill space and will allow water to just kind of circulate and allow the roots to grow around that plant or out of that pod can be used here. So all you're doing is you're just holding that plant in place so that it can just sit right in there. So here's my little system. All I'm going to do next is I'm going to add some water. And you know, we think about the water, well, so here's the thing about hydroponics. Since we're not using soil, plants get their nutrients from the soil, right? They make their food, you know, they make their food from photosynthesis, but they have to have minerals. They have to get that from the soil. And so since we're not using soil, we have to ameliorate that, right? We have to give them something. So there are liquid plant food there's liquid plant food that you can buy. You can also purchase Maxi Grow, which is a great dry nutrient, super easy to use. You can mix a nutrient solution, put that in, you just mix it really according to package instructions. I've got my little system together, my plants in there. I can put that in a window or under a grow light and I am good to go. So that is the simplest little system you could possibly make. Students love to do it, and that is a great way to get started with hydroponics. All right, I'm going to go ahead real quick before I forget, and I'm going to get our folder for you. And I'll put that in the chat so that you can access that information. And then if you have any questions about it, we can talk about that as well. Okay, yeah, so there is the information. So that is in that folder, you'll find information about the actual program, but you'll also find a great resource there for you to ideas of things that you can gather, just items that you can use that are reused or things that you can purchase. So there you are. Okay, so I'm going to take a look here at my presentation one more time. Okay, so with that, we're getting close to the end here. I hope that you had a good time with helping understand how to make a crack key system. There are lots of other ones you can do, but I have a challenge for you now. I'd like you to consider this. I want you to think about, how are you going to teach about plants this year? What were you thinking? Were you going to plant bean seeds in milk cartons again? What were you going to do? Well, why not do it with hydroponics? Use our resources, hit us up for a program. All you have to do is put your email in the chat and you might get one. Or just grab an empty plastic container and put some seeds and give it a try. I really encourage you to try this. I think you're going to love it, and so will your students. So here's to a little garden magic. All right, so speaking of magic, we're going to make that just a little bit easier for one lucky teacher today. I know that Leslie is gathering up our names. And we have a raffle for one 12-pod deep water culture hydroponic system to one of you today. So we'll get that name here in just a few minutes, I think. And I'm going to stop sharing and take any questions that anyone has at this time. I did a lot of talking, so I'd like to answer your questions if you have any.
So if our administrators because if our school's a Title I and our administrator is not too crazy about gardens, yeah, because I've actually brought this up and he really supports STEM and science and stuff, but he's just has seen like a complete mess with typical gardens.
Mhm.
Would I be able to do it like for just my classroom or my grade level? Because I know my grade level would just love this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think what I would encourage you to do is to maybe think about, like, maybe one of our smaller programs, for example, maybe like that $500 program if you have the budget to do that, or just start doing it yourself and show your principal how amazing this is. And just start doing it on your own. We do offer, so Green Our Planet is also, we can meet with schools, meet with principals and so forth, and talk about what we do. We have a great presentation that'll walk them through everything that's going on, how we train teachers, the curriculum that's involved, and that sort of thing. And sometimes we can bring them around. So,
Okay.
but it definitely too, it really does start with teachers. We've had many situations where, the administrators were super hot on it, but the teachers weren't so excited about it. And
Right.
really, it needs to start with you all. It really does. And those are the most successful programs. So definitely, yeah, give it a
So
try.
I'm super, you know what, I love to apply for free stuff. So I'm super familiar with the whole grant thing, and I just submitted one. So you'll see,
Excellent.
you'll see my information there and wonder, but please email me and
Of course.
all right.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm excited for your enthusiasm. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Sure. So Mary Grace asks, based on your experience, what is the easiest plant to grow and maintain? Lettuce. Uh, all the lettuces, all the greens. Bok choy, by the way, is beautiful in hydroponics, as is kale. I actually don't really even like kale, and it's delicious hydroponically because it's just more wet. It's like it has more water and that kind of thing. So it's fantastic. So definitely those greens and herbs are the easiest. Basil is amazing as well. So, and then Joyce says, we are Title I. We have 5 raised garden beds that we are working on. I want to try this new method. Yes, I hope you do. I think it'll be amazing. Yeah, give it a go. That's the thing too, is you don't really have to, you might not be successful right off the bat. You can just try all kinds of things with it. It's incredible. It works so well. And it's very forgiving. So that's, outdoor gardening can be pretty rough. Indoor is a lot better. So, so I got information about our raffle, and today Brittany Winnie is the winner of our raffle. So yay, congratulations, Brittany. Yay. We will be, we'll get your information and we will get that out to you sometime after Thanksgiving break or so. We'll get that out to you. So fantastic. You're going to love it. Those systems, out of the box, half an hour, and you've got seeds in, you got lights on. It's amazing. So you're going to love it.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, we have been working on our garden, and we picked up donation from local Lowe's, and it was 10,000 packages of seeds.
Awesome.
All or nothing.
Exactly. It's like an embarrassment of riches. Like, how in the world can you possibly can't? Oh my gosh. Well, that would be great. Yeah, find all the greens and herbs and put them in your hydro unit. That's fantastic. Oh, so funny. Would you recommend having separate kits for flowers and vegetables, or mixing them in the same kit? Such a good question, Heather. So in those deep water cultures, those small ones, they have the lighting, they have 2 different settings. So they have one for vegetation and one for flowers and fruit. So if you mix them, you're going to have mixed results, in that it might be that your flowers don't come on as quickly as you might like, that kind of thing. But you can mix. It happens. We do it all the time. But you're just going to have mixed results. If you really want to have your everything flower, reliably, then put all flowers in and put them on that correct setting, and use the lighting correctly for that. But if you're okay with just kind of mixing it around, then that's fine too. Can you assist with grant writing? We do have some resources for that, Valentina. So if you're interested, hit me up, Chris, CHRIS @greenourplanet.org, and we'll do what we can for you as well. We are super we just want to get it into schools. We are so excited. So, all right, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. And I really hope that you might win a system, you might win a program, which would be amazing. And if you don't, I really hope you just build some stuff. Have a great time.
Thank you very much, Chris. Everyone, I want to let you know, congratulations to our raffle winner, Brittany. We do have another presentation by Green Planet at 12:45 today, but now is the lunch break, so go ahead and take your break. You can enter back into the rooms at 12:40, and we will have the next presentation ready to go. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Chris.
Happy growing.